Alright, so we did introduce the word midpoint when we did line segments previously. So remember when we talked about the midpoint, what did it do to my segment? That would be bisect. What does bisect mean? You create
midpoint.
two congruent, two congruent parts. That's what the word bisect means in geometry the whole school year. You will hear that word the rest of the year, bisect. And so when we learned that when you have a midpoint and it bisects the segment, then I can say these two parts are equal to each other in length, right? Now that was length. What we're doing today is not length. We're just looking at the location. So if I wanted to find the midpoint of segment DF, which you don't have this on your paper, but if you can just draw a quick sketch from D to F, like this, you don't need to draw the number, okay? And just label it D, F, okay? What is the location of point D? Number 1, -4. We just put a -4 there at D. And where is F located? 5. So put the number 5 at F. I don't care about the numbers in between, okay? Put that on your paper. Alright, so if I wanted to find the very middle between -4 and 5, what would you do? Not the length, just the middle point. How would I find where the middle is located? So we would subtract if we wanted length, but I don't want the length, so I'm not subtracting. What am I adding? Oh, alright, so what am I doing? Adding. So -4 plus 5, but then that's not the only step. What I don't do? If I want to know the middle.
Divide?
Yes. Divide by 2. Good. Remember when we found the median, when we do the stats, and if you ended up with two numbers in the middle, you would add them and divide by 2 to find the middle of the middle. That's where it is. The middle. Okay. What is -4 plus 5? 1. Number 2. So my midpoint is located at 1/2. Or decimal 0.5. Okay, which makes sense. If we plot it right here, that's the middle. Okay. Alright, are you good so far? Alright, that's just to get us started. Let's move up another level. Ready? So now, look at this. Okay. I mean, just write this. -4 plus 5 divided by 2. So that was the midpoint on a number line. What if I have a coordinate grid?
Take the x value.
Take the x value and do what?
Add them.
Good, and then?
And divide it by 2.
Yep. And then if you have an x value, what else do you have on a coordinate grid?
Y values.
Y values, so we do the same thing. Let's sketch this on our graphic, on our grid paper. Just draw a sketch like an x and y, and then plot M and plot Z on your paper. So just really quickly, just like this, and then count. Let's actually write down where it's located. Where is Z located? If you're up at the front, the people in the back probably can see.
3.
Good. And where's M located?
1.
Good. Alright, go ahead and plot it really quickly. And then connect the points M to Z. Yeah, you're just sketching. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now we have a set of ordered pairs, right? We have X and Y. And what Emily said was find the middle of the X and then find the middle of the Y. So let's do that. Let's do the X's first. What are the two x coordinates? -4 plus 3 and what? Alright, good. That will give you the halfway point of the x value. Is that still good? You know what we're doing? Yep. We'll find the middle of the x value on the x-axis. So, what does that simplify to? Maybe 1/2. Okay.
But you can't have negative distance, right?
Well, it's not distance, it's location. So you're right. Distance can be negative, but we're not doing distance. We're finding the middle of the segment. And then y? What are the y coordinates? -1 plus 3. And then take half of that so that we could find the middle.
That's 1.
Yeah, let's simplify it. -1 plus 3 gives you what?
2.
+2 over +2? 1. Good. So you just found the location of the midpoint. Where is it located?
-1/2. 1.
And 1. Yeah. Your answer has to be an ordered pair because it's a location, okay? And that's it. That's midpoint.
Oh, we're just finding the midpoint?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Well, for now, you just did the midpoint formula. Do you like this better than distance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I always save the best for last, that's why. Alright, now let's flip the page so we can actually write the formula. Everybody's done here? Can I move forward? Alright, you can flip it open. Let's write the formula. Ready? Okay, write it big so you have it in your notes so that you know this is the general formula. The general formula is for midpoint. Obviously, it has to be an ordered pair. Okay, and then what values go first? X value, but there's 2, so what am I going to label them as?
X1.
X1 plus X2, good. And then? Divided by 2, right? So you add your X values and divide by 2 and then comma. And the Y value, yep. Y1 plus Y2, good. The second coordinate. And that will give you the midpoint for any 2 points on a coordinate grid. Okay? Not too bad, right? Also, it's on your anchor chart, so put it on the table. Please use them when you come to class if you get stuck. I have it on this one, please. Okay? Alright, so that's midpoint. I want you to try this one on your own. I know it's not on your paper, so just write the points. You don't have to draw them. Just write K is at -11.3 and L is at 8, -7. So we use the formula. We have add the X values, divide by 2, comma, and then add the Y values, divide by 2. Places of error here or common mistakes are just adding and subtracting the negatives incorrectly. And I'll do so, -11 plus 8 gives me what? -3. So my X is at -3 over 2. Good. Everybody got that? Or -1.5, right? And then 3 plus a -7 gives me -4 over 2 simplifies to -2, and that should be your midpoint for K and L. Good? How we do? Good? Yeah? Comfortable? Comfortable? Yep. Alright. We're going to pick it up a notch. This will be the last type of level. So from 4. Alright. Here's the next scenario. What if I need to find an endpoint? Okay, so let me show you what I mean. What if I have a point here, and then I know the midpoint, and point 1, and then I'm missing this one? How could we tackle that?
The distance between the endpoint and middle times
We could do that. We could find distance. But is distance going to tell me where this lands? Like the location? If it's like on the grid? Like would I be able to count? We can't count. But that's a good strategy. If it was on a straight line, right? We could count it. What else? What else do we do? Think about the formula. This is the formula, right?
X1 plus X2 times.
You are on the right track. So why would we do that?
Because it's the opposite.
Yeah, we have to work backwards. We have to undo it. So the formula, sorry, I showed you the problem. The formula for midpoint involves one x and one y, right? But if we look at it separately, we're actually finding the average of the x's, right? And then the average of the y's. But the problem here is that I'm only given one x. Who's missing? The other x. But I know what the midpoint is, so could I use that to solve for the other x? Yes, which is what Emily was doing. She was going backwards. So let's write the formula. If I want to find the second x value, I would need the x midpoint, right? Write that down on your note. I would need the midpoint of the x's, right? And then it's the same formula. x1 plus what? x2 divided by 2. But in the formula, who's going to be missing this time? xm, x1, or x2? The second endpoint is missing, so put a box around it. This is for right now. Okay. Does everybody understand what the m stands for here? The midpoint of the x's. Okay, let's do the y's. If I have the midpoint of the y, and then I'm given the first y, but I'm missing the second y, what am I going to solve for? The second y. So I'm going to solve for this part of the formula. Okay? And solving is just undoing everything. So we're going backwards. Alright, everybody have both of those written down? We're about to do the example. Everybody understand the three parts? Yes? The midpoint and then the first and second point? Yes. Okay, ready? Here's the problem. Given an endpoint at 3, 7 and the midpoint at negative 1, 4, find the coordinates of the other endpoint of the segment. So first, before we do anything, let's label our points. You don't have this, so just write this down. Endpoint at 3, 7, write that first on your notes. Just write endpoint at 3, 7, and then midpoint at negative 1, 4. Write that down. And then we'll label it. So endpoint at 3, 7, midpoint at negative 1, 4. Okay, so from the formula, what would I label 3, 7 as? xm, x1, or x2? x1. And what would be 7? Why 1? Good. Okay. And now this is the midpoint, so what would that label be? xm. And 4, y, and okay, is that? So let's use the formula that you just wrote. What am I plugging in for xm? Negative 1. Because I already know the midpoint for x. So x is at negative 1. What's the first x coordinate? 3. You labeled it, right? And then do I have the second x coordinate? No, that's the one that's missing. That's what I want to find. So x2 divided by 2. Okay. And then now we just solve. So you put your algebra hat on, solve for which variable here? X2, the second x coordinate. How do you cancel division? Multiply. Anytime you see a fraction, get rid of it as soon as possible so that we don't have ugly numbers. As soon as you do that multiplying by 2 next to the division by 2, cancel it. It's gone now. And then we just solve for x2. So 2 times -1, -2, and then we're left with 3 plus x2 over here. Okay, and what would be your last step?
-3.
Yes. The opposite of adding is subtracting. Move the 3 to the other side. Cancel it. -2 minus 3? -5. So my x coordinate is at -5. Okay? Do you think you can find the y coordinate by yourself? Yes? Okay, I want you to try. I'll give you 1 minute. You have to put this together. So what is the coordinate of the other endpoint? Good. The other endpoint is located at -5, 1. Don't forget, this is the location, so we have to put it together, okay, as a coordinate. All right. That is it for midpoint. How do you feel?
That's it.
Yeah. That question will definitely be on your test Friday, so please, if you're confused on this part, please come to tutoring before Friday. This is going to be on page 40. I left glue sticks on your table. Just glue it